The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the Velkari assassin materialized behind the human diplomat. Dylan barely had time to register the shimmer of cloaking technology before she felt the cold blade pierce between her ribs. The assassin, a creature of chitin and shadow, hissed with satisfaction. "The toxin coating this blade has ended the lives of 1,000 warriors across 100 worlds. You die now, human." Dylan looked down at the ornate dagger protruding from her chest, its surface glistening with an oily, iridescent substance that seemed to writhe with malevolent life. She could feel it entering her bloodstream, a foreign invasion that would have sent any other species into immediate convulsions. She wrapped her fingers around the hilt and yanked it free. "Nice try," she said, turning to face her attacker. The Velkari's compound eyes widened in disbelief. Around the chamber, representatives from dozens of species rose from their seats in shock. The Zephrani ambassador's crystalline form pulsed with alarm. The Thorian delegate's tentacles coiled defensively. "Impossible," the assassin breathed. "The essence of Krelnak, it dissolves neural tissue, liquefies organs, stops all known forms of cardiac function. You should be dead." Dylan pressed her hand against the wound, feeling the familiar warmth of her own blood. It hurt. She wasn't going to pretend it didn't, but she'd had worse. That skiing accident in Colorado had been worse. The appendicitis her sophomore year had definitely been worse. "Yeah, about that," she said, her voice steady despite the pain. "Humans have this thing called a liver. Actually, we have lots of things. Redundant systems, adaptive immune responses. We're kind of hard to kill." Joe, her security attaché, was already moving through the crowd, his weapon drawn. "Dylan, sit down before you fall down. Medical team is on the way." "I'm fine, Joe," she insisted, though she did lean against the podium. "We need to secure the assassin and—" The Velkari lunged again, this time with exposed claws that dripped the same toxic substance. Joe intercepted, and the two went down in a tangle of limbs. The alien was fast, trained, deadly. But Joe had grown up in Detroit, played college football, and had survived 2 tours in situations he wasn't authorized to discuss. He pinned the assassin with efficient brutality. Dylan continued as if nothing had happened, addressing the stunned council. "As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, humanity wishes to formalize our application for full council membership." The Zephrani ambassador found his voice first. How are you still standing? The essence of Krelnak is a neurotoxin derived from the most poisonous creature in the known galaxy. It should have killed you instantly." Dylan shrugged, wincing slightly at the motion. "Look, I'm not a doctor, but I know humans process toxins differently than most species. Our evolutionary history is basically a highlight reel of eating questionable things and surviving. We domesticated plants that other species would consider chemical weapons. We consume ethanol for recreation. Our children play in dirt filled with bacteria that would hospitalize most of you." A medical team, human and alien both, rushed into the chamber. The human medic, a woman named Sarah Chen, took one look at Dylan and sighed with the weariness of someone who had dealt with stubborn patients before. "Ma'am, you need to lie down now." "In a minute, Sarah. I'm making a point." The Thorian delegate's translator crackled to life. "This resistance? It is not unique to you? All humans possess this capability?" "More or less," Joe called out from where he was restraining the assassin. "Some of us handle toxins better than others. But yeah, we're generally pretty hard to kill. It's kind of our thing." Dylan could feel her body already working to neutralize the poison, her immune system mounting a defense, her liver processing the foreign compounds. It would take time, and she'd probably feel awful tomorrow, but she'd live. Humans always did. "The assassin was sent by the Kresh hegemony," she continued, pulling up a holographic display with her free hand while keeping the other pressed against her wound. They don't want humanity on the council because they know what it means. We're not just survivors, we're adapters, improvisers. We don't quit. The council chamber erupted in overlapping translations and exclamations. The Velkari assassin had stopped struggling, now staring at Dylan with something that might have been respect or horror. "Your physiology," it whispered. The intelligence reports were incomplete. They said humans were weak, fragile, short-lived. "We are short-lived," Dylan admitted. "Compared to most of you, anyway. Maybe that's why we're so hard to kill. We pack a lot of living into the time we've got." Sarah finally managed to guide Dylan into a chair, deploying a portable medical scanner. Elevated heart rate, significant blood loss, traces of the neurotoxin in your system, but your body's already breaking it down. You'll need surgery for the wound, antibiotics, and probably a week of bed rest. "I'll take the surgery and antibiotics," Dylan negotiated. "Counteroffer on the bed rest." Joe had secured the assassin and was now coordinating with council security. He caught Dylan's eye across the chamber and shook his head with a mixture of exasperation and pride. They'd been through worse together, probably, but this would definitely make the highlight reel. The council's High Chancellor, an ancient being whose species had witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations, spoke for the first time. In 10,000 years of council history, no one has ever survived an attack by essence of Krelnak. The Kresh hegemony believed your death would discourage human expansion into council space. Dylan managed a tired smile. They thought wrong. Humans don't discourage easy. Indeed. The Chancellor's form shifted, a gesture of acknowledgement. The Council will vote on humanity's membership application. But I suspect, Ambassador Dylan, that the vote has already been decided by your actions here today. Any species that can survive what should have been certain death, then continue with their presentation. Such a species belongs among us. As the medical team prepared to transport her to surgery, Dylan looked at the dagger still clutched in her hand, the weapon that had failed to kill her, the symbol of humanity's refusal to die quietly. "Keep it as evidence," Sarah suggested. "No," Dylan said, setting it on the podium. "Leave it here. Let it remind them. You can stick a knife in humanity, coat it with your worst poison, and we'll still pull it out and keep going. That's the message. That's who we are." Joe smiled. "Nice try indeed."